Did you miss Amazon Accelerate? Don't worry. In this episode, I'm giving you guys everything that you missed out on, all the announcements, and how it affects you as sellers. How cool is that? Pretty cool, I think. We know that getting to page 1 on keyword search results is one of the most important goals that an Amazon seller might have. So track your progress on the way to page 1 and even get historical keyword ranking information and even see sponsored ad rank placement with Keyword Tracker by Helium 10. For more information, go to h10.me/keyword tracker. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Serious Sellers Podcast by Helium 10. I am your host, Bradley Sutton, and this is the show that's a completely BS-free, unscripted, and unrehearsed organic conversation about serious strategies for serious sellers of any level in the e-commerce world. And I'm going to be going over everything that happened at Amazon Accelerate. Well, maybe not everything, but all of the key points. There might be a couple things I missed, but there's a lot of interesting things that were announced at Amazon Accelerate. And I'm going to keep it real. Like I say, this is BS-free. There might be a couple things that I think is not that exciting. I'm going to keep it real, let you guys know. It's just my opinions here. So I wanted to, give you guys kind of like a rundown of all the, it was like 25 different announcements or 30 or even more than that. As you notice, I'm wearing my old school Helium 10 shirt here. And the reason is because back when Helium 10 used to use this logo, you never would have gotten me to say in a million years that Amazon would be announcing the kind of things that they have been at Amazon Accelerate the last couple of years. I mean, the things that they're dropping that I'm going to talk about, today, and the things that they talked about last year, it was, I would have bet $1 million if I was a betting person that Amazon would never give this kind of analytics, or Amazon would never do this or that. But man, hats off to Amazon, because they're really trying to come through for the sellers. So before I get started here, real quick, kind of breaking news. If you didn't, hear last week, it's not Amazon Prime Day, but what is it called? Prime Deal Days, Prime something or other. Anyways, the second Prime Day, what a lot of people are calling the second Prime Day, they dropped the dates for it. It's actually going to be October 10th and 11th. So mark your calendars if you guys were preparing for deals or things like that. October 10th and 11th is, I think it's called Deal Day, something like that. So, normally I drop that in the weekly buzz, but I'll give you guys that information a couple days early. All right, let's go ahead and hop into Amazon Accelerate. I was there. It was my first time at Amazon Accelerate, and it was actually cool. They actually started off with the whole entire event was started off with a Helium 10 customer. All right. So Hemlock Park is a customer that, we've talked about. He's actually been on the podcast, Mikey, from there. And they did this full profile in front of everybody about how his business is and, how he makes these candles, and, really, really cool to see, Helium 10 customer front and center like that. But, let me know, what do you guys think? What if Amazon would ask you to show your brand? Would you be down to do that? So many sellers, I think, are afraid of showing their brand to the whole entire world. Literally, now everybody knows what Mikey's products are, right? So just something to think about. Would you take the publicity that, coming on full stage from Amazon, or would you be like, nah, I'm good, Amazon, you go pick somebody else? First couple of announcements, wanted to talk about for Accelerate, nothing that exciting. One of them was Enterprise Solutions. They announced that they had 15 more software companies and solutions that are integrated into their Seller Partner App Store. The Seller Partner App Store is what Helium 10 and other tools like it are connected to, but now they're connecting with enterprise level, ones like QuickBooks even. So if you use QuickBooks for accounting, that's actually now integrated into the Seller Partner App Store. Another announcement was Emerald notifications. All right. So Emerald is this beta program that they're doing where some of these seller apps like, Helium 10 can deliver notifications about things that are happening in our software in your Seller Central dashboard. Some of you guys might have gotten an email about that a little while ago, and you guys thought it was spam or something like that. So it's real. Helium 10 is part of that program amongst many others. That's what they announced at Amazon Accelerate. And basically the way that they described it is they said, hey, we're trying to make it easier for you to manage and act on key business updates from your third-party apps. That was word for word verbatim from their announcement. Now, if you're wondering, how do you activate it in your account? Let me just show you how. Go to your Seller Central account, and then you are going to want to go to Apps and Services, and then manage your apps. All right. Once you do that, you're going to get to the other page here, and it'll have all your, software that you're connected with, and you're going to have to find Helium 10 and hit reauthorize. All right. So you're going to want to hit reauthorize after doing that, or whatever other apps that you have that you can connect to. And then what's going to happen is you'll now start being eligible for those notifications. All right. The next announcement was an AI-backed seller messaging assistant. And what this is for customer service, basically. You know how customers, if they have a question about their shipping or a question about the product, those kind of questions go directly to Amazon. That's not anything new. That's always been the case. One of the advantages of Amazon, you don't have to take care of a lot of your customer service. Like, hey, where's my shipment? Like, I don't know. Amazon's the one who shipped it, right? You don't have to worry about those kind of things. But anyways, Amazon is integrating AI into there in order to save even more of the questions. And so like now it's going to be almost instantaneous. Like somebody says, hey, where's my shipment? And AI is instantly answering them saying, hey, here's the shipping and here's where it's going to go. Or here's, if you're eligible for a refund, all kinds of generic questions. They are now have an AI that powers it instead of having to wait for a person. Might take some time to answer the questions. And, theoretically speaking, this might help because, maybe in that time that a buyer is having to wait for the answer, maybe they just decide to cancel their order or something like that, right? So hopefully, this will, kind of lessen those. Now, the first big announcement of the day that got, people kind of excited was about AI and listing building. It was kind of funny when they first were announcing that they were going to announce it. They were bringing it on the stage, and I won't forget. Like they had the product manager for there. It's like this Amazonian, like his 50s and 60s, and he's like running out there like he's Usain Bolt to the stage, and he was like super excited. Like I was sitting there in the front row. I thought he was going to do like a crowd dive or something. He was running so fast, but hey, he was excited. The crowd got excited because they really hyped up this AI tool that we talked about in the Weekly Buzz a while back. So what does this consist of, this announcement of their AI listing builder tool? Well, they announced a press release also that says Amazon launches generative AI to help sellers write product descriptions. And so basically it's going to, very similar to what, Helium 10 has had for a while in Listing Builder. Basically what they're saying is, hey, right here, word for word, says to get started, sellers only need to provide a brief description of their product in a few words or sentences, and then Amazon will generate high quality content for the review. Sellers can refine these if they want to, or they can directly submit the automatically generated content to the Amazon catalog. Now, I'm going to raise my Bradley Sutton flag, my BS flag a little bit here, especially when they say, really high quality. I don't think it's there yet. I'm not trying to throw Amazon under the bus. I have very strong faith that it's going to get there. Remember, this is not Amazon like creating their own, their own, magic system here. They're probably using, AI tools out there, just like, Helium 10 uses, ChatGPT. But they tried to make it seem like, for example, they gave an example here where you can just enter mouse pad with gel wrist, right? And then you'd be able to get like this full listing. No, that's not the case. I tested it. Like we had this custom or this kind of case study I'm doing where I made this coffin shaped bath tray. And I actually just, threw in, a description that was not just like 5 or 6 words, just about 4 or 5 sentences. And the output that it gave me, it just copied the input that I said in the description. And that was the product description. And then it copied it again. And that was the bullet point, number 1. And there was only one more bullet point. And then there was no more bullet points. In the title, let me see if I could show it to you guys here. In the title, it called it 32-inch black plastic coffin bathtub tray. All right. Now, the cool thing is, hey, it adds spooky decor. I actually know that is one of the main keywords here, spooky decor, but it called it plastic. I didn't say it was plastic. And then even though that was the title, when you go to the description, the second bullet point or the first bullet point, somewhere here it says, hey, this is made with wood. So you got it right once, but in the title. So guys, this is not, do not expect this yet to be, some all-encompassing thing that's going to, allow you to just snap your fingers and create listings. It obviously needs a lot of work. If you're interested in using AI for now, I would stick with Listing Builder. That exact same listing, a test for the coffin tray, I actually created it in Listing Builder, and I put that, very similar prompt, but obviously the difference is, in Listing Builder, I can add all of my keywords that I had found from Cerebro, that are relevant to that niche. And then, Listing Builder is trying to incorporate those keywords, which is still very important, for the Amazon algorithm so you can get searchable. So I'm curious, maybe the reason why it made such a terrible listing is because there's not that much data, on coffin bath trays. And so it was kind of struggling. But maybe if I tried to do like collagen peptides, who knows? Maybe I could just write collagen powder and it would make this amazing listing for me. Now, that being said, that tool might not be at its peak yet. However, they were giving a sneak peek at some pretty exciting announcements. They said, coming soon, sellers are going to be able to submit a URL or a photo of a product, and then the AI can generate reviews somehow. So, in my mind, they were kind of saying, without really saying it, maybe you have a .com business and you've got this Shopify listing, or maybe even, who knows, maybe a listing on another website like Walmart. You enter that in, and then it could create an actual Amazon listing. That would be pretty cool if that happened. Even just like an image of a product, and it would create a listing. That is pretty cool. And another thing that they said is it's going to be available for existing listings to edit it. Right now, if you want to test this out, it's only available to be done with a brand new listing if you're going to start it. But they do say that it's going to come in the future. Now, this is something that had me a little bit worried. All right, let me read this next announcement that they said. They said, hey, we'll also enrich your existing listings to ensure your products have all the details that customers want to help you drive more sales. We'll use AI to automatically generate missing attributes. First of all, that's excellent. I'm not worried about that at all. That would be great for those attributes. Sometimes we don't know all the attributes that are needed in the back end, and then we have them missing and we could be suppressed and stuff. So if Amazon AI can do that, beautiful. Would love to see that. But here, check this out. The second part. We'll also use AI to automatically generate and improve titles, bullet points, and descriptions based on data in Amazon's catalog. You'll be able to review any changes and make edits if desired. Now that part has me worried, because we all know that, sometimes when Amazon kind of changes your title, it's not always great. And you got, what if all of a sudden for my product, Amazon used that AI thing that I just showed you guys, and it wants to call my coffin bath tray, which is made of wood, a plastic coffin tray, and it's terrible listing. So hopefully these things are not going to happen until their AI is a little bit more robust, which I'm sure it is, But the second part is I definitely want to be able to click a button that says, no, I do not want to implement those changes, because, all you Helium 10 users out there, 99% of you are going to be better at making the listing than any AI. I'll just tell you that right now. AI, as far as if you're talking about optimizing your listing for, the algorithm and things like that. All right. You've got all the data, even more data than the AI is going to have. I know that sounds kind of like a audacious thing to say, but, those of you guys who know what's up, you guys can look across different categories of different keywords. And I think the technology for AI to do that is still too far off yet. But anyways, hopefully they're not going to be automatically just changing our listings without letting us know. I don't think they're going to do that. Another minor announcement that they did was about the seller homepage. Most of you guys were opted into that new seller homepage, and one of the benefits they said of this new homepage is that you can take away those widgets. Sometimes the Seller Central homepage had all kinds of like little things that just cluttered the screen, but now you can hide those. So they talked about that in case you guys didn't know. Another thing they kind of teased, it's not ready yet. They talked about how we have all kinds of different listing dashboards in order to there's one for fixing inactive listings, there's one for managing listings, there's a dashboard to improve your listing. So what they're working on is a new one-page, catch all everything that has to do with your listings in Seller Central. And it's going to have the actions that you need to take, and everything's basically going to be on that page. And I guess they have a beta program going right now. And it said that, with this beta group, sellers are being able to take actions 40% faster than the current way of having to go to all these different listing management pages. Another announcement they made was buyer abuse protections. We definitely like that. We always know that there's some bad players out there on the customer side, and so they're implementing AI and other things in order to help kind of detect that. They quote, selling partners can leverage Amazon's machine learning-based buyer risk evaluations and specialized abuse risk investigations to protect your business. All right, so that's a bunch of fancy, press release kind of words there, but in a nutshell, the way they explained it is this is going to help, protect you against fraudulent orders, fraudulent claims. It says it's going to potentially save millions of dollars on refunds. And actually, probably the point that I think got some applause from people, it says they announced that to address the issue of reviews, Amazon has worked to automate and sanitize sanitize. I love that word. That's literally their word that they said on stage, to sanitize the process of suppressing reviews for abusive accounts in real time. All right. So, we don't know exactly in the past how the, Amazon kind of policed reviews, but you could see it happening. Like if you're using the Helium 10 Chrome extension, you ever look at the review history of a product and then you'll notice that all of a sudden 3,000 reviews got lost and then 2,000 reviews got added back. You probably seen that and were, thinking that was a Helium 10 mistake or something. No, what was happening was Amazon would just like quarantine thousands of reviews or hundreds of reviews at a time. And I guess do some kind of audit on it and then just put back the ones that were okay. So if I'm understanding this correctly, that process in the future might be now in kind of like a real time. Another announcement that might not affect a lot of you guys. There's this Amazon company called, I think it's called Veeqo, Veeqo, and it's like a multi-channel shipping software. So kind of like me, I don't use that. I use like Stamps.com, but it's very similar to that where it integrates with your seller central, and then you could print shipping labels and things like that. And so they made an announcement that they've negotiated the cheapest shipping rates in the business, and usually you can only get like the same price no matter if I use Stamps.com or if I'm using like ShipStation or something like that, right? It's almost always the same exact price. Like even my Stamps.com price is the same as if I buy postage or UPS ground from Amazon. But if you use Veeqo, you can actually save an additional 5% off by getting credit. So that's like another announcement they made. So if you use Veeqo or if you're interested in that, make sure to check that out. Now, the next big announcement was a launch of Amazon Shipping. All right. So Amazon Shipping is basically a new program where they're kind of going to be competing with FedEx and UPS. Now, this I found very interesting because it's been rumored to happen for a long time, and now it is happening. In some cities, there's only like 15 cities, and basically this is going to be just what you think is a UPS and FedEx. Like it's a package delivery service to fulfill not only just your Amazon like fulfilled by merchant orders, but you can technically fulfill anything. Like you've got a .com website and you want to have Amazon actually pick up the shipment and then deliver it in like 2 to 5 days, including Saturdays and Sundays at a low cost, and then no extra fees for residential or weekend delivery. You want to be able to track the packages in real time, get photo on delivery when the order is delivered. This is now coming. You're going to be able to do that. So again, you don't even have to like be a Amazon Prime seller, FBA seller to take advantage of this. Now, a couple things I'm wondering about is, how you can't do like drop shipping or shipping from Amazon for Walmart. I used to make, oh my goodness, I made hundreds of thousands of dollars drop shipping like Walmart to Amazon and vice versa. I'm just curious, like, would you be able to use Amazon shipping as a shipper and fulfill stuff you're selling at Walmart? I would assume no. I would assume Walmart would not want that. But anyways, if you sell on other platforms, this could be something that you can use. Another big announcement was Amazon Supply Chain, or they called it Supply Chain by Amazon, an automated solution to help sellers quickly and reliably ship products around the world. So this is kind of like they were talked about this as being an end-to-end system of shipping where it goes all the way from your factory, picking up at the factory, getting it out of the country wherever it's going to be, importing through customs, all the way to Amazon, and it takes it to another level. This is like more. We're talking about more than just what Amazon Global Logistics was. Some of the things that they talked about in their press release was that these new prices for this new system are going to reflect discounts of up to 25% on cross-border transportation, that it said. You're also going to have streamline domestic inbound transportation to AWD. All right, AWD is the Amazon warehousing. There through with their partnered carrier program. All right, so you can be able to save 25% on the already lower cost that you might have been having. So you're going to have an expanded AWD offering with reduced prices. Those of you who are already using it, the AWD rates are going to be now 80% lower than FBA storage fee. So that AWD is kind of like using Amazon as a 3PL, if I were to try and oversimplify it. But if you're doing AWD compared to maybe you were just storing things in FBA and getting long-term fees, you're going to save 80%, which is kind of pretty impressive, right? They're going to have new multi-channel distribution capability, and what that means is that Amazon selling partners will sell across multiple sales channels, including online and brick and mortar. Keeping everything in stock is a challenge. So this is going to be able to move your inventory in bulk from AWD, Amazon's warehousing, to any sales channel, so that you can replenish across the board, not just Amazon. So that's going to be something coming. And something that I found interesting was automatic inventory replenishment with FBA. All right, so if you're using this whole supply chain system, they're going to be like replenishing inventory into the fulfillment centers, like from AWD, without you having to forecast. So I don't know. Again, color me skeptical at first, just because I'm like, hey, I've seen some of Amazon's inventory forecasting recommendations, and in the past it's been kind of trash in my opinion. Sorry, Amazon, but Amazon's definitely improving in that. And so, but this would be interesting. Like I'd be curious as to what the algorithm that they're going to use, how it's going to work. But imagine a world where you don't even have to like worry about sending your inventory to Amazon Prime. You just have like, hey, I'm ordering 10,000 units from my factory in China. It's going to Amazon's warehouses, and I'm just going to trust Amazon to put them into FBA. You don't fulfill your orders from directly from AWD to the customer. It has to go to FBA warehouses first. But imagine a world where you're not going to have to worry about that anymore. So that would be kind of interesting as well. So there's another, interesting announcement that happened on day one. I mean, I can't believe we're still on day one here. A couple other things from day one. There was Escalate My Case was something that was in beta, where there's going to be like a button in Seller Central where you can like just escalate if you're having trouble with support. That's coming soon, and that includes talking to a live support agent. Here's something funny. Seller poll. You guys ever see those seller polls in your Seller Central dashboard? Well, they ask, hey guys, please keep providing feedback. Now I'll keep it real here. Most of those polls have been pretty good lately, but sometimes we get a kick out of the ones like I actually saved one of my all-time favorites. This was a while back. It says, my account is safe from being suspended unexpectedly. Strongly agree, neither agree nor disagree. So like we all made fun of some of these polls like this that people would get back in the day, because I don't think any of us thought that we were safe from being suspended. But honestly, if I were being honest, I have been suspended unexpectedly. That was like a good 4 or 5 years ago, I think was the last time that happened. If I were to get my sentiment here, I put probably strongly disagree, 3 years ago when I took this screenshot, but maybe now I'd be like, neither agree or disagree. Like I still see, horror stories out there, but I haven't been suspended in a while. And now Amazon has new systems in place that actually where they would call you before they suspend you. So that didn't exist 3 or 4 years ago. So, they're getting better. But anyways, the point being, don't just laugh at these polls. These are important. Most of them are important for you to get some, to give Amazon your feedback. All right, now going to day 2, a couple, again, minor announcements that I'm not sure affect much of you. One was called Flexible Customer Financing, aka FCF program. You're going to be able to enable your customers to purchase your eligible products interest-free using installment options. So like, maybe like you got a $200 product or $300 product, you can, it sounds like you're going to be able to activate this like, hey, buy now, pay later kind of thing, sounds like. But the important part of this is that if customers opt into that, they don't have to pay right away, but guess what? You get the funds right away, if I understand this correctly. So that would be pretty cool, because that would kind of suck if you let people buy this $1,000 thing and pay it off over 6 months, and you're getting like payments for it over 6 months. That would not fly, right? So that would be kind of cool if this can help your sales. Another announcement is that there's now a customer loyalty analytics, or there's going to be a customer loyalty analytics dashboard. So it allows you to segment customers based on loyalty and analyze segment purchase patterns and perform targeted engagement to increase your overall lifetime customer value. So they put out a press release on this, and it's pretty interesting because it says, hey, new features will give sellers a comprehensive understanding of the customer sentiment for existing products from reviews and also returns. And it gave an example like, hey, there's an outdoor recreation brand. They're trying to design a new tent. They'll easily be able to understand what drives customer complaints and satisfaction with the tents today. Like, so it might give you like a niche kind of analysis. And it says upcoming enhancements to the tool will provide the ability to select different time periods, analyze trends over time, benchmark customer sentiment against bestsellers in the category. You know, that benchmarking thing sounds pretty cool. And so this is something to look out for that's going to be available later this year in the US, UK, Germany, France, Italy, and Spain, and then Japan to follow. And it said localized insights will also provide a deeper understanding of customer preferences in the country. So it's not just like looking at, you know, a category across all of Amazon, but you're looking at it at a country basis. So again, something interesting, cool announcement to look forward to. Another thing that Amazon released is something called Fit Insights tool. It's going to be backed by AI, and this is for those of you who are mainly like in the apparel category, you know, which is, you know, historically one of the, you know, the one that has the most returns and issues and with reviews and things like that. But it's going to be analyzing the reviews and the size charts and kind of like how people identify themselves as what size they are, and then compare it to like what size you're saying the product is, or you know, your shirt or socks or whatever. And then it's going to give you like suggestions like, you know what, you know, you probably should move your size tier up a little bit, because people who say that they're waist 38, you know, they're complaining about your product because they say it's too big. So you might want to, you know, put it, call this a size 36 instead of a 38, or whatever the case may be. So, you know, I don't sell in the apparel, so this doesn't affect me at all. But what about you? You know, you guys who are selling leggings or shirts or pants or things like that, you know, I'm sure you guys have all kinds of crazy horror stories about returns. So if AI can help with that process, you know, it's called Fit Insights. It's going to be available beginning in October. Look out for more announcement on that. We'll probably have that in the weekly buzz. Another minor announcement that has to do with Amazon warehouses called computer vision based detection. All right. So they gave this demo where they're showing like vision technology where things are going on the conveyor belts, going to, you know, orders and stuff. And then this AI is going to like see if there's a problem with like an expiration date somehow, like on the package. Or maybe the box is damaged, right? And then it's going to stop it from going to the customer. So face value seems okay. I'm just not fully convinced this is going to make a huge impact. I think the thing that all of us are more concerned about is when products go back to Amazon. You know, it's like, can we please take a look at these boxes and obviously realize that the customer didn't put it back in the box, or it's used or things like that. Please don't put it back in inventory. This is a start. This is a start though, you know, because, you know, sometimes maybe like a forklift runs over a package, but it still somehow it gets on the conveyor belt and then gets to the customer and they get upset because they get a super damaged box and then they return it. So in that situation, this will probably be kind of like help with that kind of stuff. And then starting in 2024, you'll actually get a report on all the packages that Amazon kind of like stopped, you know, thanks to this new robotic vision thing that it has. Voice of the customer dashboard was their next announcement. That's actually something that exists now, but it talked about what is coming to this dashboard. Basically, they said they're going to launch 3 new improved features that will give you more insights into what's going on to help you build customer loyalty. And these include key phrases from customer feedback. I'm not sure if that means reviews, because, you know, customer feedback is something different than reviews. So I'm not completely sure about that. Number 2, category benchmarking and trend analysis to give you the tools to compare your performance against similar products. And then number 3, deeper key performance metrics broken down by customer feedback score, quote unquote, was part of their announcement for that. So if you're using that VOC or voice of the customer dashboard, look out for those 3 enhancements soon. Add to cart seller profile pages. That was another announcement. You guys know what the seller profile page is. That's where you click on the storefront, from a listing, and then it takes you to the page where the feedback is and the address of the seller and stuff. Well, there's nothing that allow you to necessarily buy the product before, but now, as you can see, they have an add to cart button now for the product that maybe they were clicking on. So that's something that's already new. And then they talked about potentially, maybe even having some other cross-selling where it has other products right there on this page that somebody could add to cart. Another announcement I really didn't understand. I wish I could have followed up on this, but it was called 2-tap ratings. And they, in this session, but in this announcement, they were talking about how 2-tap rating simplifies the seller rating process, and customers have indicated that seller ratings are a critical data point in their shopping journey. So 2-tap ratings eliminates the written feedback requirement, simplifying the end-to-end review experience. So that's what the announcement was. But I'm like, wait a minute, hasn't there just been this 2-tap rating for like a couple of years now, which is why the number of ratings is so much higher than the number of written reviews? So I'm not exactly sure what this announcement was. Maybe it's about from the actual write a customer review button on orders. Like if you were to open up your mobile app right now, your Amazon buyer app, and then hit an order and it says write a review, you kind of do there have to leave a written review, I think. So maybe that part is going to be changed. But I know there's like a page where you can go or Amazon just gives you these messages like, hey, rate this product. You don't have to write nothing. You just like click the rating right there and that's it. So I'm not exactly sure what this announcement is, but my speculation is that from the write a review button there, you can just start leaving ratings there. But that this might increase the number of ratings you get, which is for some customers or for some of you guys would love that. Some others were like, man, this kind of sucks. I barely get any written reviews now, and I really want written reviews. So maybe some of you think that's a negative. Another day 2 announcement was a seller wallet where this is coming where you can take your funds, before you actually get disbursed, and then you can use it to make a wire transfer to your vendors or your suppliers, things like that. We've had that with Helium 10 Alta for a while, but now it's coming to Seller Central. Next announcement was a little bit bigger, so it was kind of like there's a little bit of thunder being stolen because they announced it a couple weeks ago about the Shopify and Buy with Prime, but they talked a lot about Buy with Prime. And the thing that was like shocking was they actually brought out the VP or AVP of Shopify to the Amazon Accelerate stage. So he actually came right on stage, and even the Amazonian who introduced him was like, hey, a year ago, I would probably not have imagined bringing this person on stage. And that was because, as we've talked about in the Weekly Buzz before, they had all kinds of beef, in the old days. Shopify wanted all that smoke. They were like saying, hey, if you use Buy with Prime on Shopify, you're against our terms of service and this and that. So yeah, that's kind of like nobody would have ever guessed that a VP of Shopify would be on stage at Amazon Accelerate. But they were talking about Buy with Prime. And so in general, regardless if it was Shopify or not, Buy with Prime has been out, for a year. They talked about how some of the stats for Buy with Prime, what kind of stats it's had for sellers. For example, one brand said that 9 out of every 10 Buy with Prime orders were from customers new to their brand. A newer feature was Buy with Prime Cart is starting to see early success. So before, it was kind of like if you had Buy with Prime, it was just for one product. But now they're rolling this out where you can have multiple Amazon or FBA supplied products, and then you can actually add them to the cart, and then the customer on Shopify or whatever, WooCommerce or whatever, can go ahead and check out instead of just having to buy them one by one. And this feature, the merchants who use it say that they increased a 15% increase in Buy with Prime units per order. Another announcement from the Buy with Prime is that they introduced, they talked how they introduced reviews from Amazon so that you can display your Amazon reviews on your website at no additional cost. And they said that early results show that merchants who added the Amazon reviews to their website had a 38% increase in shopper conversion. So this is especially probably for those who are newer, have new websites and have 0 reviews on there. And then another thing that they announced was Buy with Prime Assist, which gives merchants the option to offer 24/7 post-order customer service through Amazon at no additional cost using a real-time chat feature. So yeah, this was definitely interesting to see. I've never used Buy with Prime. I've never even had my own. I mean, like not in like 20 years. I haven't had my own website as far as my Amazon products go. So what about the rest of you? Has anybody of you guys out there used Buy with Prime already for like maybe WooCommerce or another website? Be curious to see what you guys how that's worked out for you. Another couple announcements just really quick. Let me just speed through these last few ones here. There's the potential sales lift. You guys ever seen that from the dashboard? It's like where Amazon will tell you, hey, if you use A+ content, you can make a gazillion dollars. I kind of like make light of that, but yeah, I think a lot of us were like, this is such nonsense. Like I remember one time it was telling me, yeah, put A+ content in your pink coffin shelf and you'll increase sales by $2,000 a month. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? Like there's not even $2,000 of pink coffin shelves sold in a year. I know this niche. That's like wrong. So that's probably why a lot of us wanted to even hide some of those widgets on the Seller Central dashboard back in the day, which is what we talked about earlier today. But let me tell you guys, it's improved. I'm not trying to throw Amazon under the bus. I just want to show you guys that Amazon actually gets better. I actually haven't looked at those in a long time, and I'm looking at it live right now where it says under growth opportunities, hey, this coffin egg tray says if you improve conversion by creating A+ content, you can have an $88 sales lift over 90 days. That sounds reasonable. That's like 4 egg trays. If I put A+ content, could I increase sales by 4 egg trays? That sounds very reasonable. But then again, it's not completely working. That coffin bath tray test, I said, if I put A+ content, I'm going to get an $8.66 sales lift. I'm like, this is a $40 product. How am I going to get an $8 sales lift? So it's not perfect, but guys, it is getting better. Don't just overlook it. If you're like me, who are just like, oh, I'm just going to ignore all of those because they're so far off. I think their algorithms that they have working on it is definitely a lot better. So make sure to check that out. And anyways, the announcement that they had was this potential sales lift is going to be available for a lot other kind of things like manage your experiments and 20 other catalog attributes. So 20 other things they're going to give you a little thing that says, hey, if you do this to each of those 20 things, you could get this kind of sales lift. Another cool feature they talked about was view in your room tabletop. So you guys ever seen the Helium 10 coffin shelf or other products like furniture, and then it has a button where it says view in your room, but it puts it on the floor, right? Like it's mainly for like chairs and tables and stuff. And then you can it's using augmented reality for your product. And then you can just kind of like with your mobile app, see how that product looks in the room. Well, now they said, hey, this is we're rolling out the room tabletop feature. So instead of just looking how it would look on the floor, you're like, who's going to put a coffin shelf on the floor? It's going to be like, hey, put it on this countertop or this egg tray. How does it look in your kitchen island and things like that? So this is coming soon. Now, in the past, it wasn't something you opted into or could ask Amazon to give you. Like the Helium 10 coffin shelf, we didn't do anything special. It just all of a sudden started showing up with that augmented reality. So I have a feeling based on what they were saying at Accelerate that there's now going to be some kind of controllability you're going to have where you can potentially opt into the program or send them like 3D images or something and get into there. I actually have some follow-up meetings with that department to try and see, how maybe Helium 10 can help in this, but that would be pretty cool for those of you who have products that go on tabletops or countertops or things like that, being able to integrate augmented reality for your customers who have the mobile app. Another thing, honestly, I was not excited about at all. I was actually kind of scared a little bit, was ships in product packaging program. All right. So it's allowing you the opportunity, it says, to ship customer orders in your own custom branded packaging without additional Amazon boxes. All right. Now this could go both ways. Already this happens sometimes. And actually, some of us are kind of upset when it might happen. Like if you guys have like some super fancy gift box or like some really nice packaging, you don't want Amazon just taking that and then slapping all their logos or their logos, but they're slapping their shipping labels and stuff on it, and then having that really nice package getting all scuffed up and then it's like all torn up by the time it gets to the customer. And so, like right now I'm actually doing a brand new coffin shelf package where it's like a box shaped like a coffin, and it's going to be like a super nice giftable thing. But if Amazon ships in that box, that kind of sucks. Now, where this is better is, Amazon might be charging you extra shipping because it has to use extra packaging. So this article or this announcement where they talk about how because of the ability now to ship in your own packaging in the future, maybe it's going to save you in the fulfillment cost. But I don't know. For me, most of my products, I don't want that. There's a couple products I have that I don't really care about the packaging much, and they could go ahead and slap a shipping label on there. I don't care, especially if it saves me some money. But I'm curious, which boat are you guys in? Would you say yes, I want to save a few cents on packaging, and it also saves the environment too, because you're not having to have all this cardboard around? Or are you like, do you have fancy packaging and you want that put into an outside box? Anyways, this new feature is going to have enrollment in January of 2024, so you got a couple months to think about which boat you would be in. They also announced a sustainability solutions hub. You can look up there, on Seller Central if you want more news. I'm running out of time here. And the last one that they announced, again, that you can check in Seller Central, was some new climate pledge friendly badges that are coming. And it's interesting. Their data shows that if you have that climate pledge friendly badge, it actually drives 10% more page views than if you didn't have it. So it might be something you might want to get onto your listing, and they're going to have 3 new ways in order to have that. So there you have it, guys. I'm sure I missed a couple of things here, but that was probably the majority of what they talked about at this year's Amazon Accelerate. It was my first time there. Had a blast. I couldn't even go to all the parties because I was working in the nights. I had a whole bunch of like webinars I was doing in China and things like that. So I missed all the parties, but I heard it was really great. There was like 2,000-3,000 people. Really high quality. They had the DJ from the Beastie Boys was like the DJ for the event, and they had Tracy Ross there as a celebrity, speaker. Really, really cool event. Really well organized. What you would expect from Amazon. So guys, next year I'm sure it's going to be back again. Highly, highly, highly recommend going there because Amazon, there's nothing like it. Where I didn't even do all of it, and I probably dropped 30 different news items there that they launched. So it's a once a year event, and definitely go. It's not the only event that Amazon does. Amazon does a little bit higher end, kind of more advertising related event. That's happening in October 20, I want to say 25th and 26th, or 24th to 26th in New York City. It's called Amazon Unboxed. So you want a similar event, but more focused maybe on advertising. And if you're bigger sellers, make sure to register for that one. Amazon Unboxed, Helium 10 and Pacvue definitely will have teams there. So it'd be great to meet you guys in person at that one. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this recap. If you guys want follow-ups for me to talk about any of these announcements a little bit more in depth, make sure to reach out. Don't forget to follow on Instagram, Serious Sellers Podcast. See you guys in the next episode.